right by the highway side, and there whistles the wind rips straight through your pride, baby. It's only your eyes and mine, and this darkness that grows in time. I see that home on that airplane running, and never look back. You can tell it's coming. My way queen must be hiding someday, and I wait to know I might be slow it down and let it back. And I wait to know nobody's leaving. No, I ain't scared.
So we are probably about 80 miles outside of Dawson City, which is going to be our northmost spot in Canada in the Yukon territory. And then tomorrow, which will be Sunday the, I think 23rd, yeah, Sunday the 23rd, we will then begin a west push, get into Alaska tomorrow. So we have had quite the week. We have had a mix of weather. In Banff, we had snow, squalls, we had some ice, and today we started the day out with about 3 hours, maybe 4 hours of rain, and it seems to be following us, but it's dry at the moment. All week we've had temperatures ranging from, and this is riding temperatures, not nighttime, but riding temperatures we've had as low as 35 degrees, and we have had as high, I think, of 79 degrees. So nothing like you guys have had back on the East Coast. The weather's been pretty enjoyable. We've, again, with those 35 to say 48, 50 degree mark, we pull over, we get our heated gear on, we plug into the bikes, and we have a variety of different things. I wear a heated vest when I need it, and my bike has built-in hand warmers, so that takes care of the hands and the core. And Banff, for kicking off the week, was just amazing. The sights, which I know a lot of you have seen on Instagram and Facebook, that I try to post at least every other day. The scenery, the wildlife was just something you got to experience. Once we got north of Banff and we started to get to more remote parts of British Columbia, when we got into Yukon yesterday, it is a different game. It is something you have to be really prepared for. The sheer amount of wildlife in the last 2 days, I think we've seen 7 or 8 bear. We saw five 3 days ago. We've seen moose, we've seen bison, we've seen a porcupine, we've seen all kinds of things, and you just really have to be careful, not only for the wildlife on the roads, but traffic coming the other way. We've been having a good time. We've been staying recently, the past couple days. The further north we get, you can kiss your Holiday Inn and Best Westerns goodbye. We've been staying in cabins, motels, and what I mean by a motel is a cabin that has, 4 rooms on the front of it. So it's a mini motel. And then last night we stayed in these tent wall, but they had electric, they had heat, they had actual beds, so that was pretty cool. Tonight, or not tonight, this afternoon, it is now Saturday the 22nd. This afternoon we're gonna, probably in another hour or hour and a half, we're gonna pull into Dawson City, Yukon, and that's where we will stay the night. Tomorrow we're gonna head over to Tok, Alaska, and then Tuesday we'll be in Fairbanks. We will take Wednesday off. We got a lot of work to do on the bikes, new tires, and we want to get oil changes and maintenance done on the bikes, because beginning Thursday, we start our off-road, well, mostly off-road, northern push to the Arctic Ocean. So we're moving right along. Covered a whole lot of miles in 2 weeks. We've been able to find food until today, and that's just because of our planning. We thought we might find another gas station up here or something, or a small restaurant to get lunch, but not the case. There's nothing up here. We broke out the Cliff Bars and our water, and that became lunch today. But tonight we'll be in a town. We'll have, I'm sure we'll find a decent dinner tonight. I guess that's about it. I think everything else is covered. Oh, another thing we enjoyed was in the town of Laird. That's L-A-I-R-D, and we went to the Laird Hot Springs. That was pretty cool. The water temperatures ranged somewhere between 85 and 125. So if you got closer to the source where the spring water comes out, you were hitting closer to the 125. And Bob told me I had to go up to the source and put a small rock on a stack of rocks that were already there. And I did it. I think I have second-degree burns, but I got it done. So we did Laird Hot Springs. We also went to Watson Lake yesterday, which is home of the Sign Forest, and I'll post some photos and stuff on that. Yeah, that was a lot bigger than I thought it was going to be. I mean, just I couldn't even fathom how many signs from all over the world are hanging in this Sign Forest. Took a lot of pictures in there. I'll tell you another thing. We have met so many people all over the world on this trip. Everybody, wherever we pull into, whether it's a gas station or a restaurant or somewhere quick to grab a bite to eat, people always come up to us because I guess we look like we just landed from a different planet, or they're just curious. Everybody comes up, they're very nice, they talk to us and they're curious where we're headed, where we're from, and we get these conversations going. We went to a A&W root beer restaurant 3 days ago, I would say, and we had passed this girl a while back before we got there, and then when we got into that town, we got gas, and by then she had pulled into A&W, and that's where we were going to get a bite to eat. So we went in and said hi, and there was a little bit of a language barrier, but she spoke broken English and we could understand her. She's from Japan, and her name is Hiromi, and she flew over here and bought a motorcycle in British Columbia, and she's traveling all around for 5 months. 5 months. So she is also headed up to Alaska to see some of the towns. She's not going up the Dalton Highway where we're headed. She's not going to head to the Arctic. But then when she's done that, she's actually starting to head east, and she's going to see some of the U.S., and she's going to go to New York City. So I think that's just so cool that she just came over here, bought a motorcycle, and now she's traveling at least 2 countries, which is just really neat. Good for her. So we have some pictures with her. She wanted us to line all the bikes up so she could take a picture for her memories, and but we've run into so many people. We've seen a lot of other riders either coming south or going north, and we've talked to them, and some real interesting people. But everybody has just been so nice, and no issues. It's funny, the video didn't capture it the other day, but we stopped at a group of wild bison. So they're not in a park. They're not on somebody's property. They're just roaming the road. But they were off on this big patch of grass, and we were sitting on the roadside just watching them for a little bit, grabbing some pictures, and then when we rode away, there was another small group, I'd say about 3 or 4 young ones, and maybe 3 sets of parents, it seemed. And I was the 3rd bike. No, I was the 4th bike, and Bob had pulled over, who was the third bike. Bob was in front of me. He pulled over to take a picture, and as he pulled away, the male came rushing towards the roadside. He was angry that we stayed as long as we did. So he came charging to the shoulder, at which time I dropped the bike into first and took off as well. But it was, unfortunately, the GoPro didn't capture that angle, but I'd say he got probably within 10 feet of Bob and I as we were riding away. And then Bob does have some video of, and actually I got to get that from him and see if I can incorporate it into this week's video. But there was also a bear that just decided to stop eating and come trotting our way, and I didn't waste any time. Again, put the bike in gear and pulled away, and Bob was behind me, and he's got video of me saying, like, I'm not sticking around for this. That was pretty cool. Marty's been in charge of majority of the Canadian trek from when we crossed the border towards Calgary and made our way up. Marty had Banff, Takakau Falls, and Lake Louise, and Laird Hot Springs, and the Sign Forest, and all these other things he had planned out. He spec'd out gas stops, because even in Canada sometimes you can't fool around. When you get further north, you got to make sure you keep an eye on your gas stops, and he's done a really nice job. He's been spot on with the mileages. We keep an itinerary in a Google sheet, so we're able to check it each day. We're able to enter actual mileage compared to anticipated mileage. We keep track of our day as far as what time we leave, what time we pull in. Sometimes the mileages vary a little bit, because when we pull into a spot to stay for the night, this guy is done. Like, I'm off the bike, and unless we got to go somewhere for food, I don't get back on it. Bob has an endless reserve tank, and he will just get back on his bike and go sightsee. I can't do it, but Bob just keeps, he's the Energizer Bunny. He just keeps going. You know, he's racking up a little bit more mileage here and there because he just wants to go see some different spots, and he'll take off for a half hour.